Hi, my name is Noel LaFrance, and today I'm going to be going over my Applied Activity 7. At the start of the year, I chose Is AI Good or Bad for Society as my topic. I chose this because over the last couple of years, AI is getting more and more popular, especially with students, and nobody seems to be talking about is this good or bad. Research problem. So the topic I'm looking over today is the positive and negative effects of AI. The objective is to research if AI has overall positive or negative impacts on society. And the question I'm trying to answer is AI benefiting or affecting students' knowledge in their programs? In Applied Activity 2, we had to complete a course to make sure that we'll be doing our survey ethically, and here's my certificate of completion. In Applied Activity 3, we had to choose 3 articles related to our topic. The first article I chose was Thinking Responsibly About Responsible AI and the Dark Side of AI. The first thing I learned about this article was that companies are starting to use AI websites like Chatbox and Microsoft Tay to help them hire their candidates. These AI softwares have been known to be very lenient towards men and seem to have a bias against women. This research has changed my influence on AI. I now don't 100% trust it, and I much rather visit websites that were made by human professionals. And after reading this article, I wish they went in further detail about who to blame for these biases, and since we can't blame the AI software, who should we blame for this? The second article I chose was AI for Sustainability and the Sustainability of AI Ethics. Something I learned from this website was how much pollution AI programs cause. For example, Google AlphaGo Zero produced the same amount of CO2 as 23 American homes in just 40 days. After reading this article, I now know how much pollution AI programs cause, and because of this, I don't think it's just necessarily a good thing every time a new AI software comes out. What questions remain unanswered is how can these AI companies make new softwares without causing so much pollution? The third article I chose is Benefits, Limits, and Risk of GPT-4 as AI Chatbox for Medicine. So in the medical field, AI chatbots are starting to be implemented to help doctors prescribe and diagnose, but chatbots can make medical mistakes. This could cause errors in diagnosis. After reading this article, I now know that doctors should not completely trust chatbots and put their trust in everything it says, more of like a side thing. What questions remain unanswered after reading this article is, will chatbots cause assistants in the medical field to get fired? Primary research. I made a questionnaire in Microsoft Forms. I made one question to make sure the participants consented to the form, 2 questions on demographic, and 8 questions specific to AI use. This form right here is pretty much just stating that it should only take around 2 to 3 minutes to answer, and that all answers will be anonymous. Do you consent to this form? Make sure all the participants say yes. First question is gender. Options are woman, man, non-binary, prefer not to say. And the second one was, what program are you currently enrolled in? I just have to fill this out just to make sure I can go to the next one. Do you use AI to help you study? Just simple yes, no. In how many classes do you use artificial intelligence? Options were none, 1 to 2, 3 to 5, or all. Have you ever used AI on an assignment you weren't supposed to use? At Cambrian, most assignments you're not supposed to use. So the options were yes for the entire assignment, just for research purposes, or no. Seventh question, does the AI use cause you to pay less attention in class? 1 star meaning no, 5 meaning 100%. Eighth question, do you believe AI should be allowed in the classroom? Options were yes, no, depends on the class. The ninth question, have you ever got misleading information from AI? Yes, I don't know, no. 10th question, do you think your grades would be affected if AI got banned? Options were grades would be higher, grades would be the same, or grades would be lower. And the final question, the most important, do you think AI will make future workers more or less knowledge in the workforce? More knowledge or less knowledge? Course-based research. So I was approved by my professor to conduct this research at Cambrian College. Recruitment process, convenient sample. So I just went up to the first people I saw. Sample size, I got 21 students to fill out the survey. Population was everyone that was full-time students at Cambrian. Sampling process, I pretty much just walked around the campus, the cafeteria, and asked the first people I saw, trying to get a variety of different programs to see if that affected their answers. And then I just showed them my poster right there and asked them to scan the QR code. These were some of the results I got. For the first question, if students use AI to help them study. So here, 95% said they have, compared to 5% that just said no. So the conclusion is almost every student at Cambrian uses AI to help them study. How many students have used AI when they weren't supposed to? 60% said they have for the entire assignment. 30 said they have for research purposes, and 10% said they haven't. So most students have used AI even when they weren't supposed to. Here are some more results I got. So the question here is, how many students believe AI should be allowed in the classroom? 45% said it should be, 30% said it depends on the class, and 25% said they don't think so at all. So most students at Cambrian believe AI should be allowed in at least some classes. The other question here, if students believe AI will help them or affect them in their knowledge in the future, it is almost an even split. 55% said more knowledge compared to 45% said less knowledge, that it will affect them in their future. The final result I kept track of was, do students think AI causes them to pay less attention in class? 1 meaning it doesn't affect them at all, 5 meaning they don't want to pay attention at all because of AI. So as you can see here, most of the students ended up right in the middle. The average answer was 3 out of 5 stars. Conclusion recommendations. So most students at Cambrian would like AI to be implemented a bit more in school. Why? Artificial intelligence will be a part of our lives for the remaining of it. Whether we like it or not, learning how to use AI properly is a very important skill to learn. I've seen in this survey, a lot of students will use AI either way. So how can we implement it? Encouraging students to use AI for an assignment and then turning it into their own words. Future research. A similar survey should be sent out to every student at Cambrian. The wider variety of people we reach, the more accurate the data will be. And conducting research on workers' productivity who use AI compared to those who don't. Another way we could do this is have a company's workers all use AI for a month and check their productivity, and then have none of them use AI for a month and see their productivity. Thank you for listening.